What's up, locker room? I am here in DC for this UFC fight, but let's take care of business at hand first. I waited until today so I can see some of the footage that came in. You know, I was thinking about, I wanted to address it last night after the game. My boy Nick called me and wanted me to meet him at the game in San Antonio, right? And I was like, well, I'm in DC because I have to work that fight tomorrow with Netflix and everything, so I couldn't make it to San Antonio. I told him I couldn't make it. I honestly thought, as I said to you guys, no way San Antonio would lose that game at home. And I thought, you know, maybe the Knicks would come back and win the finals in New York. I think that's Tuesday night. But I was surprised. I mean, the game started out the same way it started out the last 5 games, you know, the last 4 games, is San Antonio jumped out. Great first quarter. Great first half. Ended up, man, about 5 points at the end of the half when it should have been 25 points at the end of the half with the way the Knicks played and when you do a comparison to the way the Spurs played, and it just didn't happen. They didn't pull away. They did not pull away. Now, in all of it, to watch how the Knicks stayed together and the Knicks fought. You guys have heard me talk about this all the time. That in team sports, true team sports, having great skill is one thing. Having a great collective will is another thing. And I've said it. I don't know that I take the Knicks over any team skill-wise, but collective will-wise, when I hear about the friendship or you see the friendship and all of the clips, and now everybody's playing all the old stuff that brings back to this day, like the Josh Hart and Brunson friendship, you know, the Mikal Bridges, all of this. They went and got those guys from Villanova, which is kind of funny because Villanova's in Philadelphia. Let me tell you my circle of brain, Howard. Villanova's in Philadelphia. What did Philadelphia do? Philadelphia did the same thing that New York did Philadelphia did the same thing that New York did with Villanova. Philadelphia did with Georgia. Get what I'm saying? New York took the crux of the championship team from Villanova. Bridges, Brunson, and Hart, and brought them to New York. Philly took the Hart, basically the Kobe Dean, big fella up front, of the defense in Georgia, that championship defense they had in Georgia, and brought them all to Philadelphia, and they won a championship. And it's the same thing I'm telling you. Yeah, we talk skill, but that collective will. Think about this, how James Harden stick with the ball. Dribbles too much, and people get mad at him. Even Luka the ball sticks with him. Dribbles too much, people get mad at him. Brunson does the same thing, and nobody says a word. And mentioning those two guys, James Harden and Luka, nobody would have told you that Jalen Brunson was better than those two. But he's accomplished more than both of those two, because none of them has ever come up big like this in a final. None of them has won a championship. So many great athletically inclined players. What Jalen Brunson, you would say he's less athletically inclined than the Damian Lillards, then the Kyrie Irvins, then the less than the what you would call the James Hardens and the Lukas, but he won. Because the things I tell you, if you play great late, you'll win. And this is what he does when the game's on the line. I found it interesting even listening to him as the MVP. You know, he won MVP, he walked in on his press conference, holding both trophies, which I love. And I see all the things about where his mom used to do. You guys see that? I don't know how you don't love these stories. Man, his mom used to leave notes on the mirror or put him in his lunchbox when people said what he could not do. Nobody believes in you. Nobody thinks you're good enough. His dad worked him. They talked about how when his dad got cut from the Knicks, Jets and Giants in New York. Football's on my brain because it's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? Once that final's over, we go into the NFL. So, we're about to jump into that because the final's over. But we got to give this love to New York. And then I got to bring some noise to you guys about what I'm going to watch tonight for Netflix when I'm working on the White House lawn. And then we'll give all the attention to the football that it deserves. But we got to say congratulations to the Knicks. And I got to finish this with Bronson because I'm telling you, it's such an incredible thing to me to watch that growth. That growth. Bronson was a second-round pick after winning 2 championships in Villanova. Everybody said, and this is what I tell people, stop listening to what everybody says. Your truth is going to determine your truth. I draw to the Bronson story because I liken it to mine. I was never the guy that was the most physically gifted, that was supposed to go and lead teams to championships. But I did. Just like Bronson, in college and in the professional ranks. There's so many other ones that everybody says, oh my God, Michael can't run, Michael can't do this, all of that. Don't let people tell you your reality. It is your reality. And the Bible doesn't say, as other people think of you, so are you. It says, as you think of yourself, so are you. As a man thinketh in his heart. That's what you are. You have to know what you are. And Jalen Brunson knew what he is. And he went up and got it done. So even though others didn't believe in him, he believed in him. Even though other people said he couldn't, he said he could. Your destiny is not what others say. It's what you say. So what do you say? And especially what do you say when others say no way? That's the kicker for everything. And then now, not just getting to the league, having the ability to get the league, it's also having the ability to lead a team to a championship. They saw you do it. They saw you do it before with Villanova. But no way he can do it on this level. No way he can do it on this level. And these are all people that trips me out. It always starts with the people that wear suits, not the people that wear uniforms. The people that wear suits are the people that work in the front office. They try to tell you what it takes to be a champion. But they never put on the uniform to find out what it takes to be a champion. So they make decisions from peripheral things that really don't matter since they've never really been in the locker room to understand the deep things that do matter. You see, leadership and belief. As a team, everybody believes in Jalen Brunson and everybody loves him. So even when he sticks with the ball and dribbles too long, they don't get mad at him like other situations happen because he's a quiet guy. He wants to see his team have success. And here's the kicker. He left $100 million on the table. You think it's coincidence when you see guys like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and now Jalen Brunson, and all people say, oh, he left money on the table. You think those teams didn't hear that too? And then they play different for that guy? That's some things I wish some people I know would learn. That I don't care. You can't do this by yourself. So having everybody say, oh, nah, it's paid tonight. It's best to have your team saying, man, he's thinking about us. He left something on the table. That's just me dropping that in. On this last note, I want to talk about, it was interesting to watch the relationship between him and his father. And how his father pushed him so hard, and the pain of what his father did when he got released 2006 from the New York Knicks. I heard Jalen say that was a tough day for me. A tough day for him watching his dad go through that. And then his dad said, I'm just going to push Tim as hard as I can push him so this never happens to him. Well, it would never happen to him. Jalen Brunson just put himself in a class that very few will ever reach. And do you understand, after having back-to-back sweeps in the finals, sweeping teams, then you come to San Antonio with the alien on the team, a true Goliath, you're David, and you take 3 games on their home floor? You took 3 games on San Antonio's home floor and won 1 in New York, and you are a champion. That's a different kind of champion. That's a bad boy right there. And what a relationship between him and his dad pushing him. I can't imagine. He was just a kid walking around the locker room. And now all of them, he was knee high to all of them. And now they all are on their knees saying, thank you, Jalen. Thank you to that little kid that bounced the basketball in this locker room, because his dad was always in that locker room. I gotta admit, that's the one thing that touched me deeply, especially with the issue that I'm having with my son. And we're listening to them talk about this, because I wanted to push my sons, and my wife would say, oh, don't do that, that's too hard. Dion, he used to get on me all the time and say, Michael, stop being Joe Jackson. Stop pushing those boys that way. But when I look back, I should have stayed on that. I should have stayed on that. I should have done more of that. And I'm telling you, as fathers out here, the earlier you get your kid and start putting those things in them, the better. And it's important to have both sides. Both sides. And that's what I love about Jalen Brunson's story. His mom encouraged him and gave him that mom love. And his dad pushed him and gave him that dog love. That you must be a dog. Mom gives you the good side. Dad gives you the needed side, especially to be a man. And when I see things like Rick and Jalen, makes me question what I have done as a father. It's a beautiful thing to see, you know. Yeah, congrats. I want you guys to tune in when I sit and talk with Jim Jackson about this. And Jim Jackson's so great. Great analyst. I'm going to do that on the White House podcast on Netflix. So you guys tune in and check that out. But let me just say congrats to New York. And let me tell you what I want so badly, man. Did you see that? Did you see New York last night? Did you see New York? All the footage coming in. The whole city is on fire, rocking. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And they haven't had that feeling in 53 years. I hope God is taking care of old business this year. Started with the Knicks, 53-year drought. And now moving to the Cowboys, 30-year drought. Take care of all of these old businesses. And let me see Dallas rock like New York was rocking last night. Tune in to the White House locker room. Tune in to the White House. I promise you, locker room. It'll be good. And then, after this one, we're going to turn our attention to football.